Hey guys, I'm Jitendra here. So I'm here at SMXL, and this is my dream come true that I'm sitting with Rand Fishkin, man, ex-MOZ CEO, now the founder of Spark Toro. So it is one of the biggest interview I'm having that after Neil Patel. It's like dream come true, Rand, to be very honest.
I'm thrilled to
So
be here
Rand,
with
can
you.
you share your journey that how did you started MOZ?
Yeah, so I dropped out of college and started as a web designer, and then got into SEO because basically we needed to do SEO for our web design clients, and we were subcontracting. We couldn't afford our subcontractors, so I started doing it myself.
So how long did it take to build a brand like MOZ?
Oh, it was a good long while. So let's see. I think I started the SEO MOZ blog originally in 2003, and I would say not many people had heard of us until 2006, maybe 2007. So it's a good 3 or 4 years of blogging 5 nights a week before anybody heard of us.
Okay, why did you left MOZ? Because this question is being asked by so many of digital marketers. Why did you left MOZ, number one SEO company in the world? Why?
Yeah, so I had stepped down as CEO a few years ago, back in 2014, and yeah, basically the new CEO and I tried to make things work together, but we just had a lot of conflict, and so it ended up being the case that we decided it would be better for me to go. But MOZ gave me a very nice severance.
Of course,
I got
your
to start a new
whiteboard
company.
Fridays.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of questions being asked by SEO people there in India. So do you think that no follow links still matter in SEO in 2019? No follow links.
Yeah. Most of the time, no, but sometimes yes. I think there are certain no-follow links that have an impact on SEO because people follow them. Basically, people click on them, and Google sees that visit path. And I think that some no-follow links lead to being picked up as followed links other places. I think I wouldn't be surprised if in Google's systems there are some elements where they say, oh, this link is no-followed, but it has these other signals, so let's count it anyway.
But if you see no follow, because a lot of big authority sites like Forbes, they have made links no follow. If I get a link from Forbes for a new website, do you think that it will help me in ranking? Suppose I want to rank a keyword like best SEO tools.
I'm going to say it depends. So I think in a lot of cases, if a new website comes out, a new company comes out, they're interesting, they're hot, they're doing cool stuff. Google wants them to rank well for at least their own name and for their brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so a no-follow link, maybe Google won't necessarily count it for all the things, but I think they'll count it for some things if it comes from a credible source.
So what do you think that no follow and do follow links ratio should be there for a news site?
There's no fixed ratio. If you're targeting a ratio, you're probably doing it wrong. I would instead urge you to think about, why am I trying to get mentioned in Forbes? If you're trying to get the visitors that Forbes is going to send you, great. Okay. If you're just trying to get a link because you think you're going to manipulate Google's rankings, forget about it.
Okay. So does TLD extensions matters in SEO for ranking?
Kind of. So in a way, yes. For example, we're in Italy right now for SMXL. If you have a .it extension, that will help you rank in Italy a little bit better because Google recognizes that's the Italian domain extension, right? Versus .co.za, which would be for South Africa, versus .ca for Canada. So yes, those TLD extensions can matter. I also believe if you are going to try and build an international brand in the English language at least, you probably still want to go for .com.
Okay, so one more question I have right now. How do you control a negative reviews online for a brand? Means what are the best way to tackle with negative reviews online for any product, for any services online right now? Just like ORM.
Yeah. Best way is to overwhelm the negative review with tons of positive reviews. So if you can do phenomenal customer service, have tons of people who love you, write about you, you will, 99 good reviews is the best way to beat one bad review.
Okay, 99 good reviews. That's a very clever answer. So what kind of algorithm updates we can expect from Google in 2019 right now? What do you think will be the next update from Google?
It's really hard to say. I mean, it just
know.
depends on what they decide to prioritize and work on internally. I wouldn't be surprised to see more of the things along the lines of what they've tried in the last year and a half. So trying to get better with niche relevance. I think they still have some challenges on niche relevance in very specific verticals and very specific industries. I think they're still challenged on some trust factor stuff, and I think there's actually been a backslide in some cases with them ranking spammy websites in certain very aggressive high spam verticals like porn, pills,
Gambling,
casino. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What is your desirable keyword density right now in 2019?
There's
What
no
do you
such
think?
thing. No.
Because some experts say that it's like 3%,
No.
4%. What's your favorite?
There is no expert who says 3 or 4%. There's,
They are.
There are not, because they are not experts. If they say there's an ideal keyword density, they are
What's
not
your ideal?
experts.
So what's your ideal keyword density?
There is no ideal keyword density. Keyword density hasn't been something that library science used in the 1990s. If you think there's a keyword density number that Google uses, you are 20 years out of date. It has not been used by Google ever.
Oh my god! Because some experts have different opinions about a keyword density.
Go ask Neil Patel. He'll tell you there's no keyword density that matters.
Okay, how do you determine the effectiveness of SEO campaign? How do you think that this campaign is going to work very well? How do you judge?
That's actually a tough thing to do initially, right? When you're just looking, I think a lot of SEO is trial and error, right? So you try a bunch of things, you say, hey, we're going to try this for a few weeks. If it doesn't work well, we're going to pivot to another strategy. And I think that actually is wonderful because it means that SEO is always a learning process. I would say, however, if you are trying to judge the efficacy of a campaign ahead of time, much of the time you can determine that by looking at whether the delta between what you are missing and the top websites already have is going to be solved by the campaign you're running. And if that's missing, chances are you don't have a good campaign.
Okay, one client comes to you. He say, I will pay you X amount of money. You rank my new website for a keyword like how to lose weight in 21 days in just 3 months. And he pays you like fucking tons of money. He say, rank this keyword, how to lose weight in just 3 months. I'm going to pay you X amount of money, whatever you want, through SEO. So what will be your best answer or strategy here?
3 months?
Yeah, how to lose weight.
AdWords. The only way to do it in 3 months is AdWords. Reliably. Look,
Okay.
I'm not going to say... Sometimes you can have a genius campaign that hits, the right timing, that does things really well. It could be hey, we're going to launch a book, and that book becomes a bestseller. Okay. And so now we can get the book's website to rank really well because everybody's talking about the book.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible, but
possible.
In 3 months you can't even
Do you
get a
think
book
it's
published
possible?
in
It's
3
not
months.
possible to rank for a keyword like how to lose weight.
Very, very unlikely. The one exception I would say is if there's a big freshness boost, right? So if you have a campaign that's absolutely going insane and viral, and Google is looking for fresh content, yeah, potentially.
Then they might
For
rank you
example,
up. Yeah.
right now is probably a good time because in 2019, in January of 2019, which is 3 months from now, a lot of people will be searching for how to lose weight, and the first few articles that say how to lose weight, the science of in 2019, the most up-to-date science in 2019, that'll get a boost because a lot of people will be searching for just the newest stuff from that year.
Oh, that's a very nice answer. Okay, another more questions. How will SEO change as we rely less on screens and more on AI, robots, VR?
Yeah, so a lot, you can see Google, I'm going to be talking about this in a few minutes, right? But Google is answering a lot of queries without sending any traffic. So one of the big challenges, who knows, in 2019, Google could decide that how to lose weight is a query that they answer with their own Google information, and nobody gets
Snippets,
to rank. Not just featured snippets. Google could answer it like they do with flights and hotels.
Yeah, flights. So that's
right? They just take all the traffic and they give it to themselves. So I think that is a challenge where people need to start, internet marketers need to start thinking about what are channels other than Google where I can build my brand so that people will be searching not for how to lose weight, but rather for your weight loss website.
Okay, means my brand.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think that SEO is going to get more tougher in 2019 because PPC is getting more easier? Means you just pay the money to Google and your ads will be on the top. What's the advice you want to give to the SEO people here right now?
I mean, I would disagree a little bit about the PPC thing because I think that PPC is getting more challenging because there's more people bidding and there's a lot of dollars going into that are looking for growth, not profitability, which means that you just get overwhelmed. And also PPC, Google gives a high benefit, higher ranking to people in PPC if they get good click-through rates, if they get good engagement rates, not just if they pay a lot of money.
Okay.
So tough, right? Your brand has to get recognized. In terms of SEO getting more difficult, yes, I think the next 10 years is going to be more and more difficult all the time.
So should the startups or some small businesses should focus more on SEO or more on PPC? Because it's
Depends
very
on
tough.
what you are. Depends on what you are, right? If you're in a sector where PPC costs are not very high yet, where the competition is not super strong, but SEO is really, really difficult, yeah, PPC might be the right way to go, especially if you have a lot of money and you have a well-known brand.
Okay.
If, on the other hand, PPC is overwhelming, you don't have the cash for it, you need to be creative, you've got to be thinking about, how do I get an SEO campaign going? All right, play that game.
So that's the way. Okay. Which on-page SEO element have the most weight for SEO, according to you?
I think the biggest on-page element right now is, does this content solve the searcher's query? And Google determines that basically through a lot of machine learning and natural language processing and content analysis, and then also a lot of behavioral aspects of learning, right? So they look at, do people click on this? Do they click the back button and bounce back to the search result? Do they do that more or less than the other ones, right? Relative pogo sticking, those kinds of things.
Pogo sticking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Who are your internet marketing role models? Means, do you follow, which guys do you follow right now in your niche?
Not a lot of guys. I follow a lot of women right now.
Oh, wow.
I think, there's some brilliant women doing a lot of wonderful work. So a few, this is just a few people, but there are many, many more. Tara Reid, Emily Grossman is doing some awesome work. Dana DiTomaso has been for years. Been super impressed on the PR and SEO front with Lexi Mills. Following content marketing and sort of brand marketing stuff from Camille Ricketts, who is at First Round Capital. So lots of folks.
So what is your best off-page SEO strategy right now for 2019? Because there are a lot of experts are sharing do this kind of link building. So what's your favorite link building strategy for 2019?
Find something that journalists are hungry to cover.
Just like Haro?
Oh, no. I mean, Haro is basically you go find something that one journalist has said, I want a story like this. Haro, that'll only get you one link.
Okay.
If you find a topic that journalists are very hungry to cover, for example, SparkToro did this recently. What's the hottest topic in the world?
Right now?
It's usually Donald Trump, unfortunately, right? For better or worse, right? Donald Trump is like, everybody talks about him all the time, right? And so we're like, hey, let's see how many spammy Twitter followers Donald Trump has. And we'll publish that research. And so we published a big article about it, and then boom, 50, 100 articles about us. Literally 100 links from, The Guardian and Forbes and Newsweek and Time and the New York Times and the Washington Post. They all just linked to us, right? A bunch of newspapers in India picked us up and linked to us.
Of course, yeah.
Because that's what's hot right now, right? So you find something that's hot, you write something unique about it, you do some interesting research that everybody's going to cover, you can get a lot of links that way.
So this is very controversial, the question I get. Do you think that buying links in SEO will help me to rank higher than my competitor? If I buy links from Forbes or some kind of high DAPA sites, what do you think in buying links right now?
I mean, I don't think Forbes is going to get you there, but I think that, so buying links the traditional, like the old school SEO way, right? Of like, I pay you directly and I pay this link network, that usually doesn't work too well. But doing things that cost money that also get you links, that works great.
So
right? That works totally great. So very frankly, I don't. I used to be someone who said, we should never do anything against Google's guidelines, but Google is so goddamn evil these days. They are so evil. I don't think that you need to pay attention to Google's guidelines. If it's going to help you to do well with your business, great, and you feel comfortable with whatever risk level you have. It's high risk potentially buying some kinds of links.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't tell you that it's a bad thing to do. I don't think that's true anymore.
That's not a bad thing to do, right?
I
It
mean,
means you can do it if you...
I don't think it's a moral issue, right? If we're saying like, oh, it is immoral to violate
Buying the
Google's
links, yeah.
terms of... No, it's not immoral. It's just
Everyone do
another-
this, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's just another way of doing marketing and advertising and promotion. Now, should you do it in a safe way? Should you do it in a way that Google will likely reward and probably won't penalize? Yes, you should, because it's safe for you.
Okay. Do you think that PBNs are still going to work, private blog networks are still going to work in 2019?
Some of them probably, but PBNs have been like this for 20 years, right?
Yes.
Where some of them work and then Google penalizes a bunch of them, and then some of them work and Google penalizes a bunch more, right? And it's just a cat and mouse game. So if you think that, oh, these PBNs will for sure always work, you're fooling yourself. That'll never be the case. I don't think there's ever been a PBN that worked for 4 years in a row in the last 6. So just prepare yourself.
Okay. What are your biggest fears about the future of tech which can affect human?
Yeah, I mean, I worry a tremendous amount that the internet has connected people with very hateful views.
Of course,
Right?
like trolling or... criticism,
trolling, racist views,
Yes,
anti-immigrant views,
that's true.
Anti-Semitic views, all sorts of things, right? Very, very patriarchal, anti-women views. And I think that, unfortunately, 20 years ago, if one neo-Nazi wanted to find another neo-Nazi, how would they find each other? They couldn't. The internet makes it very easy for them to connect, and I think that is actually a dangerous thing. And so, as much as I love the idea of freedom of speech, and I think that it should be legal, I don't think that tech companies should pride themselves on enabling hate speech to propagate.
Okay. So where should startups and scale-ups on tight budgets focus their efforts regarding SEO?
I think you should choose keywords that are likely to do 3 things. 1, bring you the right kinds of customers and amplifiers of your content. 2, bring you people affordably, so basically be ROI positive, because some SEO investments are not necessarily ROI positive. And 3, not be traffic that Google's cannibalizing themselves. Be keywords that Google actually sends visits out from, because there's a lot of words and phrases where Google answers the query right in the SERP. Nobody has to click.
Yes, true. Okay. Now I will just have one last question. A lot of questions are there. Is there any benefit of doing SEO on copied content, as some experts are ranking a copied content high on SERPs? Means you have seen a lot of people, experts are doing this, right?
Yeah, I've seen some people basically game the system, right? They
are doing
copy
it.
other people's content.
So do you think it's the right way to do SEO, or just for a short term to make money?
I mean, I think that is not just against Google's terms of service. I think that's immoral, right? I don't think that. I think that first off, it violates trademark and copyright laws, so it's illegal, and you can be sued for it. So even if you do make money, if somebody decides to go after you in court, you're going to lose all that money and more. And second, I think that is absolutely profiting off of someone else's labor. I think that's just wrong, right? We should hold ourselves to a higher standard than that. There are lots of ways to make money in internet marketing. Sure. You don't need that one.
Okay, true. One last question, and a lot of questions are there still. Okay, how is your experience at SMXL right now? Means what kind of audience do you expect here?
Yeah, I think what's nice about SMXL is it tends to attract a lot of folks from very different groups. So you see a lot of people from all over Europe, not just Italy, which is cool. And we also see folks from agency side, in-house, startups, scale-ups, big companies and enterprises, media groups. And so I think, the challenge is you have to be able to speak to all of those audiences.
Sure. When you will be in India? So this is my last question. When you will be in India? Come on, people are waiting for you in India, man. They want to see you.
That's very kind. I don't know. I don't have any plans, but hopefully sometime soon.
Some kind of speaking or training drill in India, will you be available to speak there?
Yeah, I mean, my schedule is, I am booked out until about maybe summer, fall of next year, but yeah, hopefully something could work out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rand, that you have been so kind to me right now. So this is like a dream come true that I'm doing your interview, and I'm just, this is when I was in job, I never think that I will be doing interviews of Neil Patel and Rand, but this is like a dream come true. So it's all about hustle and hard work, right, Rand?
I like working smart, not working hard.
Okay, but working hard and having a smart work is the best combination, right?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, when you are passionate and you're able to work hard, and that's what you want to do, awesome. But if you have other obligations, you can oftentimes work expands to fill the time that you allot it.
Of course. So thank you so much, Rand. Thank you so much. It's
Yeah.
my great pleasure to interview you.
Awesome
Thank
to
you.
meet you.